Welcome back. So today I'm just going to take you along with me as I get ready for the day. It's just going to be an easier day, so I'm just kind of going to go for a clean skin, minimal makeup look. But as I do so, I want to share with you my top 6 tips on just how to keep your stress levels low in your life. I think I have learned how to have a really good management of my own stress. I am a junior high school teacher, and the most common response I get from people when I tell them that is just this look of shock and awe, and they say something along the lines of, "Oh my goodness, I could never do that. How do you manage that?" And so on and so forth. So it has been a learning curve. Definitely last school year and the year before that were my first 2 years and were really stressful for me. There were multiple mornings where I, not on the verge of tears, but I full on cried because I just was so stressed and didn't want to go. And this year has been a complete turnaround of that. I am so energized and I feel calm and happy, and still, a work in progress, but minimal stress. As far as my look for today, I took a shower and I've already put on some of my skincare. So of course I put on SPF 30 sunscreen. I love the Drunk Elephant because it's a zinc oxide, so it's a physical sunscreen, not a chemical sunscreen. The chemical ones can affect your hormones and stuff like that. Apparently, I'm not an expert on this. I just read too many articles. Anyway, I love the Drunk Elephant. It is a zinc oxide, which a lot of times when you find a zinc sunscreen, it can be very, very white casted on your skin, but this one is not. So I love this one. I also put on my rose hip seed oil. I just use the Ordinary, and still kind of figuring out if I like this. I'm still figuring out my skincare altogether. You can kind of see some of these spots that I've been getting. I know I can't complain. I have pretty good skin, but my problem is I often get these very clogged pores, and they're bumpy, so it's a little bit more textured, and I can resist picking for weeks on end, and then one night I'll just attack my face and pick it, and then I have spots for a week. So I'm still kind of figuring out my skincare, so I'm not going to be doing a skincare video probably for a while until I find something that I'm really happy with. So I'm trying to be somewhat minimal and not do too much stuff. I use like a CeraVe cleanser and moisturizer. And then I also like following up with these Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. They just help give me a little bit of a healthy glow without making me look orange. Though I don't use that much, I just use like a small pump, and you can see I've kind of used this up, so I'm due to get a new one soon. For starters, my first tip on managing your stress and keeping your stress low is having a consistent sleep routine. And for me, I've learned that it's not so much whether I get 6 hours of sleep or 8 or 9 hours of sleep, really. I think the biggest factor for me is the time that I actually go to bed. Because I can get a full 8.5 hours of sleep going to bed at midnight, but the fact that I went to bed pretty much any time after 10:30 really, really messes with my system. And usually when I stay up past a certain point, like 10:30, I tend to have a headache the entire next day. And I'm just overall not as happy because I didn't get my good bedtime. So a consistent sleep schedule is a huge factor for me in managing my stress. One of the things I do to help myself sleep a little bit better is I do make sure that I sleep with a eye mask, and it is not fancy at all. It's, I don't know what material it is. I'm pretty sure I got it for free, but it does the trick and it stays on my head at night. So you don't need anything fancy really. It just helps kind of block out the light, because I do need complete darkness to sleep well. And then another thing kind of in line with the sleep schedule is I like on weekends when I can, I enjoy, and I feel like it's doing a lot for my body, to kind of soak in the sunrise, like watch the sun come up. And I don't know, maybe it's more of like a spiritual thing, but it really makes me feel better throughout the day or throughout the morning. It just feels like a good start to my day. What I am putting on right now is my NARS concealer, which has been a long-time favorite of mine. I get the shade Vanilla Light 2, and I might be trying out some new concealers coming up soon because I'm pretty much out of this. But I do like this one because I feel like it's a very creamy consistency and helps my skin to have just a nice healthy sheen to it without looking cakey or anything. Now I'm gonna just use my Sephora primer. It was like the cheapest one I could get on Sephora, so that's what I got. The second thing I do that helps manage my stress, and this is not an exhaustive list, these are just some of the big top hitters, but meditation and prayer are wonderful stress relievers for me. And I have not gotten to the point where I honestly do more than like 5 minutes of meditation. I use an app called Oak, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's probably the most simple meditation app I've had, and I love it for that reason, because it's, I don't know, simplicity helps me to be a little bit more consistent with things. But I love meditation just for the fact that it allows me to get really quiet, really focused on my breath, and then that just calms my whole system down. Just having that time to be really quiet helps center me, I guess, to use that terminology. And even more so with prayer. I am a very spiritual person. I have faith and a testimony that I'm a daughter of a Heavenly Father and a Heavenly Mother. And so just taking the time to talk to my Heavenly Father and just kind of connect on a soul level with both of my Heavenly Parents, it just helps to remind me of my divinity. It helps make me see everyone else in my day that way. It's nice to be able to kind of process through things I'm feeling and stressing about and thinking about, or just happy about, and expressing gratitude. I really love my prayer practice. It's something that I was amazing at when I was little, and then in the past few years I haven't been as great with it, and I don't know what happened a few days ago, or like a week or more ago, but I just started doing it again, and it's been so good for me, and I've loved it, and I've felt so good about it. What I've found is meditating and then immediately following that meditation up with a prayer has kind of been the best way to make sure I encompass all of that and get all of that in my morning, which a lot of these things that I'm gonna say, well, not a lot of them, just kind of depends on the week of the month. But I do meditate and have my prayer in the morning generally, and then I do always try and follow up the day and finish the day with prayer. Before I move on, this that I just put on my cheeks and my, what is that called? The bridge of my nose, and then also kind of just like put on my eyelids a little bit, was this sample of Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Duo. I'm not entirely positive of the name, but I think it might be Work with an E instead of an O, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Eyebrows are an incredibly important part of your face. Just gonna get those in. All right, my third tip for staying low stress is actually Epsom salt baths. I love baths of all sorts. I love bath bombs. I love bubble baths. I love everything. I love being all bougie and putting flower petals in my bath. But just a basic Epsom salt bath, or even sometimes times when I haven't had Epsom salts particularly, I'll just throw salt in it. This is just a Smith's Minted Rose lip balm. It does the trick for keeping your lips kind of glossy and moisturized. But generally, taking at least 20 or 30 minutes to soak in a bath once you've got it going is gonna help you get the most benefits from it. Sometimes I feel like it can't, well maybe it could, I don't know. It can't actually replace the workout, but sometimes I feel like the amount I sweat from it, and sometimes like if it's an extra hot bath, like how high my heart, or how much my heart is beating, my heart rate. Clearly I'm not the nurse of the family. Sometimes I feel like it's basically a workout, like it's doing the same thing for my body. The fourth tip for keeping your stress low is exercise. And once again, it is not something that I have been at all perfect with in my life until like last summer. I started, I just threw this playlist together for myself on YouTube, and when I would find an exercise video or workout video that I liked, I would add it to that playlist, and it just kind of helped me to start to find exercises that my body and that I actually enjoyed doing. This pimple is so pesky. And there are still even some exercises that I refuse to do to this day. Like I will not do a burpee for the life of me. I hate them. The time of day that I exercise definitely changes throughout the month. If you are at all interested in what I mean by that, just go onto Flow Living by Lisa Vitti and look up exercising based on, or best time of day to exercise. Just go look that up and you will see what I am talking about. At some times in the month, I will exercise first thing in the morning. Sometimes it's just an evening walk. I love Pilates. I love strength workouts that are slow. Like I don't like doing really over intense, strenuous exercise. Like if I'm gonna do something intense and strenuous, it better be skiing or rock climbing, because just doing that in a gym is not fun for me. All right, I'm using the shade Tease in my Naked 2 palette. And it's matte, so it's not as reflective, but I feel like it kind of just helps to add a little bit of shape and a healthy color to my eyelids. I might add a little bit of the shade Booty Call. These are all stupid names. To my inner corner. On top of exercise, I try and do exercise outdoors as much as I can. Even this morning is only like 30 degrees outside, but it's bright and sunny and beautiful, so I opted to do my workout on the balcony outside, and I love walking outdoors. We live kind of near a river, so I love going down near that and taking walks. Sometimes I wish I had a dog because I don't always feel the most safe, but that's fine. And then just right in the center, I'm gonna put this YDK. All right, second to last thing that I do is keep my physical space as organized as possible. My mom always taught me your physical environment and the state that it's in is a reflection of how you're doing inwardly, and I have really found that to be true, and I just enjoy life more. I'm less stressed when my physical space is organized and well put together and filled with things that I find beautiful and that I love. Very kind of like the Marie Kondo motto. What is it? Things that bring me joy. Okay, so I could either just leave my eyes like this and not put mascara on to kind of go with that very clean, minimal makeup look. I am happy with this look. I'm going out to get lunch with my mom and sisters and niece and nephew though, so I think I might put a little bit of mascara on just to kind of open up my eyes a little bit more. The final tip I want to offer you in how to keep your stress minimal is saying no to things that you only said yes to because you feel obligated. And this is one that is a work in progress for me. Even last week, not last week, but the week before was a really difficult week for me, both physically and emotionally. And there was something that someone asked me to do, and I initially said yes to it, but I was just not in the emotional or mental, really any space to really be wanting to do that. And so Dylan had to tell me, honey, if it's something that's not going to feel good for you right now, then don't do it. And so I canceled and they completely understood. And it was very relieving to say no to it, and it allowed that whole day to be a lot more restorative and good for me. Just learn to say no to things that are in line with what things you're wanting to achieve, or even they just feel wrong to say yes to. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Well, like this video and subscribe to my channel. And let me know if any of these tips on managing your stress, keeping your stress levels low, come in handy for you. And I hope to see you around. Bye.